This is Sports Stuff with Jim and Muff, with most of the homies joining us today.
Most of the homies.
Today is Monday, June 12th, and the golf world has come front and center this week, a week before golf's third major championship of the season, which will be the U.S. Open this upcoming weekend. Lots to dive into on this. I'll give you our thoughts shortly on that. But first, remember, I am Muff. I'm the person steering this rudderless ship. Joining with me, as always, is the Ohio Homer, the Ohio Degenerate, Jim.
Hello.
Mayor of the Crack House as well.
Mayor of the Crack House.
Would we decide to do the capo of the Crack House?
Yeah, I am the Ohio capo of the Crack House.
There it is. We also have the medical degenerate, the guru of all things medicinal, Alex.
That's me.
And from the Harper household, we have a single person joining us.
Not single as in like a single person.
Hey, he's not single, ladies.
One person.
He is a single person.
Well,
the guru of officiating, the man behind the line of scrimmage, ducking, dodging, diving, dipping. And dodging, Nate.
You know, you almost had it perfect, except I'm not behind the line of scrimmage.
Oh, he's on the other side.
Yeah. I'm beyond the line of scrimmage.
Wow.
One day, Nate, one day.
Yeah, maybe one day I'll be behind the line of scrimmage, but hopefully not soon.
Hopefully not soon? You don't want that?
No, I do not want the white hat this young.
Okay, fair enough. As always, thanks to the Loyal Listener Club. And then you can follow us at Sports Jim Muff on Instagram and Twitter, sportsstuffw/Jim, Ampersand Muff on Facebook, on YouTube. Subscribe, comment, rate, review, poke, like, tickle.
Get the bell on.
Get the bell on. First, real quick, Pittsburgh Pirates update. The Pirates win today?
Yep, they won 2-1 today against the New York Mets.
Which puts them at 34-0? 30?
34-30, yep.
That means we are almost mid-June, boys. And you got a winning record.
I know.
And one first in the division.
Are they alone or are they tied?
Alone.
They are alone. The
So
A's
the Brewers
swept the Brewers.
Ooh,
Yep.
Look at this.
Brewers are a game back.
We have reason to become a little excited, Jim. I'm not going to downplay this. This is good news for Pirates fans.
Yeah.
Also in Pirates baseball, Muff was president lead with this. Andrew McCutcheon got his 2000th career hit today.
I put that in the notes, Nate. That's where I was coming if you didn't get it.
Yeah.
It's almost like I'm a bigger fan than they are.
We've only been waiting a week.
How am I? Wait, that's not fair. I was going to say something.
Well, you're third now. Nate got it, then I got it. Now you're coming in saying you would have got it.
How did you get it? Because you typed it there. So I didn't type it there because it was already there.
But Nate said it first, then I said it.
So we have to say it first.
Yeah, it's like the
internet. I think he's also like one or two doubles away from 200 or something like that too.
Look at Nate.
He's one double.
One double away.
Oh, correction.
Which he has been as well for about the past week. So good news for Pirates fans. We'll see what other random factoids can come out, and Jim more than Nate can tell Alex and I that we're no longer good Pirates fans because we didn't watch the game today. Oh, yeah. Well. The NBA Finals taking place as I guess the game starts here shortly during our recording on Sunday evenings. Can Jimmy Butler and the Heat conjure up any magic in this series?
Is there a game today?
Yes.
I don't think there is.
That was literally said before we...
Game 5 is tomorrow.
Well, the Muff was wrong before we started recording.
Game 5 is Monday at 8:30.
Okay.
You're correct. Muff was wrong again.
Oh, well.
Sorry, that was not to correct you, Muff. That was to not lead our loyal listeners astray.
So as you're listening...
Hopefully
obviously all little
the game will be happening today, or you're listening later in the week and the game's already happened. Can the Heat conjure up any magic in the series, or are the Nuggets just too good? And
wait a second. So there's nothing on TV Sunday as we record?
No, there's the
USFL.
Jim.
Baseball?
You got Super Regional Baseball on right now. Then you've got Yankees Red Sox on right now.
There it is. That's what's on.
USFL.
Like I said, baseball is on.
Right.
Yeah, I don't really. I was just throwing it out there because it's actually on. I haven't watched a few. I watched a couple whacks of the tennis ball, and I watched a few laps of the NASCAR. Things I never thought I would say that I would do twice, both in one day, and watched a few plays of the USFL.
That's how you know it's the dog days of summer,
That
baby.
is, I
Did
literally
you
thought that.
watch
I'm
any
like,
golf, Alex?
yesterday.
Mm. Well,
I watched a little bit prior to
four-hole.
Top Golf to take some notes.
That's fair.
Yep.
You missed a 4-hole playoff today in the Canadian Open.
Ooh.
And a Canadian one with a 70-foot putt on the 4th playoff hole.
Was that the guy? Was that the guy that was like he just stands up there and whacks it? He doesn't even care what his swing looks like. I think he was in the lead yesterday.
Nah, no.
I mean,
All right,
his
we'll,
swing
we'll
is
get to the golf. We'll
horrible.
get to the golf.
Right.
We got some more things to hammer through.
So the Magic going to come back, and the Nuggets just going to run this one through
The Heat.
in
I got
Denver.
The Heat.
The Heat.
He's
I, don't know, I had Nuggets in 5 on it.
Yeah, I said Nuggets. I think I said Nuggets in 5 or 6. So
I think the Nuggets are going to win this one.
that's it. In the last game in Miami, Conor McGregor put himself in some hot water after reportedly sending the Heat mascot to the hospital after a knockout bit. It was supposed to be a bit on the court. Conor knocked the mascot onto the ground, which I think was part of the bit, and then also gave him a little ground and pound right in the nose. And allegedly, the mascot had to go to the hospital, got some painkillers, and released.
Yeah. Well, so did you see Dana White's response? He's like,
I did not.
one of these mascots gonna learn that this is stupid. You shouldn't be messing with the MMA fighters. Dana, that's a tone deaf response. 2, the rumor is that Conor may have been under the influence when the bit was done.
Proper 41.
No,
ding,
more
ding.
like
Proper 12?
more
Oh, is
like
it 12?
420.
Oh, proper 420.
Yes,
See, he's in Miami. I thought it was more the snow down there.
it could be. It could be.
Maybe all of the above, and we're just not sure.
Yeah. He didn't look good when I watched the close-ups of his face. He looked, for a guy who's supposed to be getting ready to make his comeback, his eyes look puffy. He did not look great.
In other UFC news, positive ones of this time, Amanda Nunes defends her bantamweight title against Irene Aldana in a convincing unanimous decision, then puts her gloves and both of her belts in the middle of the octagon, retiring a champion and one of the most, if not the most dominant UFC fighters, men or women.
Absolutely. Positively the best way to go out. I think in any sport, like to go out, I am not only the champion in this division, but I'm the champion of that division. And I just kick someone's ass. I am now going to put it down. And Dana, kiss my ass. You're not calling me back. Like,
Well, that's if everyone had that foresight to just, I feel like that's when people's careers start getting weird. Like we lose the art of just like, hey, I won, I'm out. Now it's I'm in, I'm out, I'm in, I'm out, I'm in, I'm out. And then it like tarnishes it. And then you go to some stupid team and do something dumb. Like just be done. When it's time to be done, be done.
Yeah.
Well, and didn't Amanda Nunes have a child a couple years ago?
Yes, she does have a young child. That is correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes your decision a little easier, probably.
Well, tell that to all the other freaking athletes. Tell that to
Well-
Tommy B, who might be playing for the Raiders.
I don't think that's going to happen, Jim. Kyle Brown, an ESPN director who worked at the company for 16 years, unfortunately died Saturday after suffering a medical emergency at the Super Regional in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. He was 42 and had won 2 Emmys and played baseball at Ohio State.
Wild that, like, first off, 16 years at ESPN and the Emmys, and the Ohio State baseball thing is something that ESPN threw out there. But like medical emergency at the Super Regional, that's just like a blip on the radar. Like, what happened?
Probably had cardiac arrest.
Right? That's what I would think. Medical degenerate, like heat stroke, something. But like, dang.
Probably just naturally had a like massive heart attack.
Whew.
But
Horrible.
I could be wrong. But that's what I usually assume when people say there was a medical emergency like that.
I don't know. I've met a guy who has worked with NBC Sports Broadcasting. He's been doing it for 10, 15 years too. Those guys are never home. Like ever.
Yeah.
It's always on to the next thing. This guy did it for 16 years.
And he's only 42.
And to
Mhm.
go out on the job, it's gotta be like, damn.
Yeah. If you're never home and you go out while you're on the job, then it's
Right.
you never got to enjoy all the
Right.
time that you spent doing what you I mean, presumably you love what you're
Right.
doing,
Yeah.
but you didn't get to kind of revel in the aftermath of your success.
Right. Just wow. It sucked.
So RIP Kyle Brown and Jim, a man from the wrestling world.
Oh, Sheiky baby. Iron Sheik. First off, probably one of the best heels for his day. Heel being the bad guy. Probably culturally, like if you said name a bad guy, somebody's gonna say the Iron Sheik. As he got older, probably more of a, if you're on Twitter and you followed the Iron Sheik, probably more of a joke, probably more of a punchline. If you follow his tweets, you should look up some of his past tweets. Freaking hilarious. But a legitimate Olympian, legitimate badass. If you look back at how he got to this country and how a real feel good story, and then kind of as most wrestling stories are, not feel good story, but a real sad day. I mean, he is a Hall of Famer and a legend. So, R.I.P. Sheiky baby.
Okay, we are going to dive right into
Ugh,
the
battle suits.
Not often do we get to lead with golf. This week we will be leading our discussion points with golf.
Might be a 2-episode freaking podcast here.
There's a lot to pop into here. So there's going to be a lot of off ramps to this discussion, I'm sure. A lot of discussion, a lot of potential arguments,
Yes.
a lot that comes from our discussion. So real quick, last week, Live Golf, the PGA Tour, the DP Tour formed a new entity.
Hold on. Before we even begin, I want to make sure that you clarify the players so that everybody's on board with this giant argument. Live, backed by the Saudis, correct?
By the PIF, yes.
See, this is where everything's going to get confusing for people. Is Live backed by the Saudis? I honestly want to know.
Live is backed by the public, whatever fund, investment fund, which is run by Saudis. Yes.
PGA, a non-profit, kind of for-profit organization.
501c6 or 6c organization, yes.
Here in America.
Mm-hmm.
And now this is why I really want clarification. DP Tour.
It's a European tour.
Nobody knew what the F that was.
Yeah, I was going to ask that question.
Actually. Right, it's European-based tour.
Okay.
And all three of them joined forces.
All three have decided to join forces from an overarching new entity, which is yet to be named, yet to be decided what it will be called, but there will be this big umbrella of which those three fall into.
Keep going.
So the two major players, obviously, since nobody really knew what DP Tour was involved with here, this calls into question everything that the PGA Tour had done over the past couple years to keep as many players from joining Live as they could. They also, within this deal, have decided to end all pending litigation, which has come out is, at least at face value, the primary reason for Jay Monahan, the commissioner for the PGA, choosing this path, that they had spent around $150 million in litigation at this point, including, I think, about $100 million from their reserves. So they were draining money. They were just nose open.
To be clear,
yes,
the PGA was suing Live for some things. We can dive into it for some things.
It all had to do with players leaving and everything went
Live
with it.
Was suing them. So there were suits and countersuits between the two. We could dive into that, but we don't have enough time in the podcast. So, and the issue was PGA was draining their piggy bank, And Live, their piggy bank was like Fort Knox. They weren't going to drain.
Correct.
Okay.
There was some hope, but there was no light at the end of the tunnel because DP Tour had recently settled litigation, or at least had won some litigation against Live. But I don't think that DP was they were not the gem that Liv was trying to get a hold of there.
Right.
They were just like, we'll let you guys go. You're not really going to be battling us in the future if we take down the PGA.
Right.
So initial thoughts. All of this comes out. We had some thoughts that day. We got into some deeper discussion, but initial thoughts whenever all of this came out. We'll start with Jim, since I know he has at least a solidified opinion here.
Well, we put a nice groundwork there for the listener. I think that we also need to state a couple of things, that the PGA had set a mass campaign using 9/11 families and really besmirching Live as, hey, they're taking Saudi money. They had used Roy McIlroy as the poster child, their Captain America, which is odd because
He's not
it's
American.
Roy McIlroy, but and they were really attacking Liv and making them the bastards of the story. And then this deal, this agreement that was made, Jay Monahan and a couple executives did it in secret, and it was done in the 11 and a half hour with none of the golfers' input. And it was just, we're now a team. And then revealed. Now, who got revealed to? I believe they brought Captain America in before they went public with it and kind of said, hey, Roy, thanks for diving on our sword, but we're about to do this. And we really need Captain America back out there.
While the rest of the PGA golfers are like, huh?
I'm finding out
happened? This it's on CNN. I found this on a tweet. Like, there was a lot of tweets going out like, I'm on this tour. How am I finding this major story, this major collaboration, this major news out?
Nobody knew. They said there were only like three guys in the top of the PGA Tour that were involved in these discussions.
Yes.
Yeah, two of which have, like, Jay Monahan and Bill Dunn, or Dunny, I'm not sure how you pronounce the last name, are the two major players that have come out. Alex, what were your thoughts when this initial news broke last week?
I think I kind of at first forgot about all the shady Saudi stuff, and I was like, it kind of makes sense, I guess. Better to like kind of combine forces, make golf better for golf the game. But the more I think of it, I do agree with Jim in the pieces where you had these guys that were loyal to the PGA Tour and like stuck to their guns, stuck to their morals, and now it's just like, okay, well, we're just gonna do it. And I think it's kind of shitty that in a sport that's primarily like, it should be ran with a lot of consideration to the athletes. It's not, all sports should, but it's individual. I think they weren't given any respect and being able to like voice their opinion on the matter or have a say of like, hey, yeah, okay, we can let them in this, but I don't know. I feel like it's shady that they didn't get to give their opinion if they were the people that were staying loyal to the process.
Right. And Nate, well-noted golf aficionado. Nate, what are your thoughts?
From the outside looking in and not knowing much about it, I think it just looks really bad on PGA Tour executives.
Fair enough. So, as Jim mentioned, Roy McIlroy, the voice of PGA golfers in this PGA Live debate, as was very well outlined in the Netflix documentary Full Swing, which apparently season 2 of that is going to be amazing. So strap up for when that comes out next fall. I think it was the fall it came out, late fall. So strap up for that one. Seemed to step back on some of his original comments now, given I think he was he was plotting out the storylines or the talking points he was given by the PGA in the past, but he went as far to say in his most recent interview that he was always against Live Golf, not necessarily against the Public Investment Fund, the PIF, which is the Saudi-backed money.
Did he say that directly? Because I never heard that.
Yeah, he said, "I hate Live Golf,"
but he never said this had nothing to do with the Saudi money.
that was the illusion that he gave was, I've always said I hate live golf. I haven't necessarily said that I hated everything else, like all of the things associated with this. So I hate live golf.
Okay,
So it was like I'm going to, go micro on this and not address the macro.
gotcha.
That's
Which I mean, he's Captain America. He's gonna go out there and do what he's got to do.
I don't think we can call him Captain America.
I'm gonna for right now.
So, McElroy, John Rahm, Tiger Woods, Hideki Matsuyama, Will Zalatoris, among others, all allegedly turned down hundreds of $1 billion from Live, and now are sitting there as their peers who took the money will be able to apply for reinstatement as early as 2024.
Well, let's hold on a second. This
Yeah.
is where it gets sticky for me.
Okay.
Okay.
So none of this comes into play until the 2024 season, and then live golfers are able to reapply to be back on the PGA Tour. Nobody has said what that looks like yet.
Right.
If there's going to be any penalty to it, they just said you can reapply starting in the 2024 season.
So let's just go let's take this layered cake for a second.
Mhm.
I understand that Liv could drain them with money and probably would have. That was how it was going to work. And I understand the premise of, okay, if we can't beat them, join them because we want to continue to exist.
Right.
And you're going to catch blowback because of the approach you took, bastardizing them for the Saudi money.
Right.
I get it. Okay. But if you're going to do this at the 11th and a half hour and you're going to do this cloak and dagger thing, you should probably have in your back pocket, okay, the big guy and Kepka and all those guys that made a run for it and ditched you, you should have it spelled out. Hey, they left us and took the money.
Mhm.
If they're coming back, they're going to make less than our guys, or they're going to lose something for not staying loyal. Or sure, they can come back, but all the other guys that are here are going to get a bonus. They're going to get something for sticking with us. And that should have been announced. They should have been ahead of that.
Okay. So that's a talking point I have is, do we think that the PGA players that stayed loyal, that, went out there and took all of the hits, took all of the media attention, Rory's the big one, right? Tiger wasn't really involved in these discussions.
Tiger passed up $1 billion.
Yeah, reportedly up to $1 billion. Yeah. So do those players, those golfers, stand in line to get something, or should they get something from the PGA Tour for not jumping ship?
Yes.
Yes.
I agree.
Agreed.
Okay. So I think we're all in agreement there. Those PGA players should get something for not running away and taking the huge payday, because now that money's coming to them anyway, in some way. And there is a discussion that there's been no statement, there's been no plan for what live golf looks like moving forward, if it will even exist, or if they're just going to take elements of it. It's like if the NFL absorbed the USFL and XFL and said, hey, we want all the cool things that you did and we're going to incorporate it into what we do. So there's been no discussion of what this looks like for live moving forward.
I think the big fear is if the NFL took the USFL and then said, we're going to also take any player that defected and we're going to act like you're part of us because it's cool. That's the real concern, I think, for me at least, is Kepka and the big guy, if they walk in like nothing happened,
right,
I'm going to get real hot.
well,
That's
the
one of
big
big
one
things.
the big one for me, the big player that's going to be interesting
Phil?
is Phil.
Yeah.
Because Phil went total Chris Gaines, Garth Brooks stuff.
Yeah.
Which apparently Garth Brooks is putting out.
Yeah, he's coming back. Yeah,
But,
5 of them.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So, yeah, Phil's going to be the biggest one because Phil was very outspoken about his move to live, the reasons he was doing it, and he embraced the kind of, that guy. He just started to dress in all black. It's kind of doing all of the things to kind of provoke more that went into it. So I think Phil's the one that I'm interested to be going on. So we'll do a little off ramp here from Wednesday, I believe, is the all player meeting at the RBC Canadian Open. which was the day of the announcement. They had an afternoon or evening heated and intense discussion, as it was described, with some players, as you would expect, calling for Jay Monahan's resignation. Rory was there and apparently was told to fuck off from a low-ranking player after Grayson Murray called for Monahan's resignation, to which Rory said he should play better, prompting Murray to respond as such.
So
Can you just think yourself in a room like that, where he's like ranked 200th, like 200 something,
Yeah.
which is really an amazing golfer, but he's not making the big cash. And
sure.
Roy tells him, hey, you weren't getting paid anyway, bud. Start playing better. Maybe we can have a discussion then.
Yeah, I think that's where the Captain America vibe for me comes in. Like, you're just drinking the Kool-Aid, Roy.
Yeah.
Because in essence, right, if you're ranked 200, whatever the bottom number is to be on the tour, right? And however many guys are in live come over, they're going to knock you off the chart because of them coming over.
But they're still going to be, so this, I guess, is my question, and maybe all of this isn't laid out yet, but how are they going to do that? Like,
that hasn't been spelled out.
That's those guys have to reapply to get back on the PGA Tour.
Yeah,
There's been no discussion of what that reapplication or what they have to do or not do to actually be, for that application to be accepted. If
300 is the cutoff, big guys allowed back on, number 300's pissed off. Hey, I'm here. I didn't jump. Like, I'm making things happen, and you're going to throw me off because that unloyal piece of shit took the money and ran on you?
Right.
And then Roy saying, play better. Fuck you.
So some of this comes down to, which you can maybe start to piece through what could be happening, is some of the tenets of this agreement. This was part of a statement from PGA. The agreement includes that the Public Investment Fund, PIF, will make a financial investment to become a corporate sponsor of the PGA Tour. So they're going to flow money directly to the PGA Tour.
That's PIF, a nonprofit.
This is
this is where I get screwed up.
I'm not enough of that type of mind
to
know how this is going to play out. PIF will also make an additional financial investment in this new entity to build the new commercial business in collaboration with the PGA Tour. So there's going to be some
profit.
But this new entity, it's for profit. This new entity is a for-profit endeavor.
You see where the tax issues for me are?
Yeah. PIF is also committed to significantly financially support towards causes that positively impact the game of golf on a global basis. So pretty much
gives them their nonprofit status.
And LIV was already doing that. They held events in Australia, other places that had not really been places where you had seen major golf happening, at least with major professionals or, the big names. Jay Monahan, this is where everything gets to now we understand what happened and why things went down the way they did. Jay Monahan is slated to be the new CEO of this for-profit entity, whatever it will be called. And he also brought along Jimmy Dunn or Dunny, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, who was one of his board members on the PGA.
Who initiated the talks with LIV.
And this all comes full circle, not full circle, but kind of this hypocritical situation here, is that Dunn is someone who allegedly, again, was a huge piece of all getting this done, started the conversation, and had a significant tie to people that were killed during the 9/11 attacks on the World Trade Center. Like, I think he had an office there.
He did, yeah.
And many people that he knew well died as part of those attacks.
Yeah.
So the fact that he initiates it kind of looks callous, cold, again, hypocritical, but also who was pushing that 9/11 narrative initially? Was that Jay Monahan, who was signing off on that? Like, hey, we're going to do this because we want to look like the good guys and make them look like the even worse guys. So it's just an interesting wrinkle in all of this that I never would have expected to come into play. Like somebody that tied that closely. And I think it speaks to how dire the straits were for the PGA and how much money talks.
Yes.
So additional talk about the money. We've talked about the PGA and their status as a 501c6 organization. Somebody that's smarter than all of us can figure that out. They may continue to operate in this manner, taking advantage of the tax exempt situation, possibly being able to funnel money through the new entity and live while making payments through the PGA. Sponsors continue to be tax exempt. There's all of this stuff, all of the money. So do we think that all of this is going to be able to operate? Some of them operate in this tax exempt status and figure out all of the loopholes to make all of the money.
Absolutely.
And it's going to happen.
Yes. Here's my I have a couple wavering. This show is not political, just FYI. But okay,
But
if you have an organization, Amazon, Microsoft, if you go through the annals of time and history, if you have an organization that dominates a certain thing, the internet, mass production of or mass delivery of products, typically your government tends to open their eyes and go, what's going on when something like this happens?
mm-hmm.
Because the word monopoly starts to come into play.
Right.
You tell me how another golf organization can now exist in our country given this new conglomeration. It cannot. But, okay, given our current political climate, I guarantee you that no matter what party affiliation, some political person has their finger in this cookie jar from probably both sides of the aisle.
Mm-hmm.
So there's probably lobbyists all over the place making this work.
Trying to be, oh no, they'll stay tax exempted. We'll make this happen.
Correct. Major concern. Now,
there were also quick off ramp. There were discussions that part of the reason that some of the litigation wanted to be ended is if we go deep into this, everybody's got to start opening up their books.
correct. Correct. Now, another concern I have, and again, I'm not getting this is purely for you, golf man. One of the major golf courses for Live was owned by a certain politician, former president.
Indeed.
What's to say if he decides he wants to make one of his golf courses a quote unquote major or bigger than a major, with the influence now of Live into the PGA? What's to stop one of those golf courses from being bigger than a major? It's a question I truly want answered. There's no well, listen, PGA, I know that you have this great history throughout the annals of golf, but you ain't got ties to the purse strings no more.
So this is interesting that you say that. The statement had come out that the PGA will still have control over everything inside the ropes, quote unquote. Right?
Yeah, unless you don't have the money.
No. Inside the ropes is just what happens once the tournament starts.
Right.
What happens outside of that and where tournaments are may be a whole different ballgame. And I do think there is something to be said about how the influence of this new entity is apparently going to have more members on the board that have PGA Tour affiliations than anywhere else. Well, that's how it starts. Who knows what's going to happen in 5-10 years?
I mean, whether you like him or not, and I'll just take the elephant out. Whether you like him or not, Trump loves golf.
Oh,
He owns several golf courses.
Oh, that's who you're talking about?
Right? He loves golf.
Yeah.
So if he decides that he wants his golf course to be one of the majors, I don't know how you stop that. I just don't.
He has the money to do it.
Well, he doesn't need the influence.
No, he has the influence.
Yeah, he does not have the money to do that. He has the influence to get to the people with the money.
Right. And so while they say it's good for golf, and I think this merger is really good for golf, golfers are going to get paid more in the long term. And I think it is bullshit that Koepka and Phil and those guys will probably make out more And as much as I think Tiger is like, you make a lot of money, Tiger. Like, you probably don't need that deal. I think it is bullshit. I think it's going to long term be probably bad for the history of golf and the pureness of golf as we go.
Right. It's the money that's going to be behind what comes in the future is good for the professional, right? It's good for the person trying to
Yes.
earn the money. But at what cost is that going to happen?
Yep.
So,
Yep.
it's a lot of golf talk to start out today.
I'm not sure we have Nate still. You still with us, Nate?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Nate, do you have anything you want to talk about in golf?
I got some clubs in my garage.
Okay. Alex is about to be the owner of some new clubs sometime soon.
Yes.
There you go.
About to make some things happen. So let's get into some football news. This is mostly professional football to start. First, Dalvin Cook is expected to be released from the Vikings, striking up, of course, the conversations of what team is in the best position to sign him, need him, and surprise, the Dolphins find their way onto this list.
Wish the Chargers would.
Others include the Bills and Bears. As we've known over the years, running backs continue to be an expendable resource, including one being Cook with, I think, the 2 straight 1,000-yard seasons. The speculation is that the Vikings are prepared to offer Justin Jefferson big money, which is maybe part of the reason why they're trying to unload Cook now. Where do we think Dalvin Cook will go, and will he experience personal success, or is he just looking to be part of a winning team?
Well, I saw a report earlier this week that said he wants to get paid. He doesn't want to sign like a 1-year, $4 million, $5 million deal. So that's going to rule a lot of contenders out, I think.
Yes, a lot of, yeah. So the Dolphins, Bills, and Bears are the 3 that I saw. The Dolphins are not looking to pay him big money. They're just looking to get another running back on the roster.
But don't they already have like 2 or 3? They have Jeff Wilson. They got somebody else from the
Mostert.
I'll say somebody else that was a former Niner that came over.
Yeah. So they would just be looking to further solidify their backfield in a run first offense under Mike McDaniel.
I'd say Cook would be more, if he did go there, be more like a short yardage back, goal line back, because Mostert's just got burners, and so does Wilson.
Yeah.
What about the Broncos?
I don't see why you'd want to go there.
Yeah. No, I see Dalvin Cook. Man, the Dolphins thing still gets me.
The Bills were another team. Obviously, he would be in a similar situation in Buffalo as he would be in Miami. And the third team is the Bears. Now, I don't even know who running back 1 is for the Bears right now because David Montgomery is gone, correct?
Yeah. Yep.
I think he actually went to the Bills, if I remember correctly.
Okay. I knew there was some tie there. So the Bears maybe make the most sense. And I think the Bears actually have the most cap room of all of those 3 teams. So the Bears could be a landing spot just de facto if Dalvin Cook wants a larger deal, more money to a team that can afford him and needs a proven running back 1 right now.
Now,
I was going to say, is it just me, or does it always seem like for some reason recently a lot of guys when they leave, they stay in the division?
More so than, I agree, more so than it had been in the past.
quick question. Does Zeke being out there affect where he goes?
2 different running backs in my mind. 2 different. Okay. Dalvin Cook still has a few more, at least a couple more years left in the tank. Zeke is just going somewhere, as Nate said, with Dalvin Cook at certain locations to be, a third down, short yardage, goal line back.
Gotcha.
Zeke is like a piece that you can fit into a puzzle. He is not the key to the puzzle.
Gotcha.
So, see, that it hasn't officially happened yet, right? Minnesota still has him, but he's expected to be released by a certain date because there's they save money.
Mm-hmm.
In other NFL news, the Colts' Isaiah Rodgers is in it deep with the betting conversation as he placed hundreds of bets in violation of the NFL's betting policy, including
that wasn't a one-time slip up.
Oh no, hundreds of bets, including betting on Colts games.
Yeah, that's cool.
With the recent suspensions of Lions players and the 1-year suspension from Calvin Ridley, do we expect this to be a longer suspension, or do we think something else will be on tap for Rodgers in this.
If he made hundreds of bets, and when Ridley only made what, a handful that we know of?
A handful, and I think only one was on a Falcons game, if I remember right.
Right, but if this guy's making hundreds of bets on NFL games, he's going to be royally screwed if Ridley was out for a whole year.
Yeah.
I think they give him a year.
A year. I think a year's about where they're going to max out unless there's like something tied to
Like that
game fixing.
They can prove that he like threw a game.
Yeah.
Fixed a game.
Yeah, I mean, if he ever bet on his team to lose, then absolutely. But if you're betting on your team to win, I mean, I don't think
the Pete Rose thing, right?
Yeah.
So with that many bets placed, though, I'm wondering if there will be a conversation about like, hey, this has been a problem. We know it's a problem, but hundreds of bets. Do you have like a personal issue we need to chat
And that's
about?
what I'm saying. Like, when
Yeah.
does that conversation come into place? Like, do you have a habit? Do you have a problem? Do you need help?
Right.
No one comes at us like that.
You're not wrong.
Well, wow.
I mean, what was the time frame for hundreds of bets? You know, like
was he on a heater? Was it okay?
yeah.
Oh goodness. In other NFL news, Bryce Young has already been named quarterback 1 in Carolina.
Is that not insane?
If you're going to say he's your guy, he's your guy.
I think that's bold. In my opinion, so early, that's bold.
They got to, if they're going to do it, they may as well do it early. Just get all of that out of the way.
Honestly, like I agree with you. It is bold and it is early, but part of me is like, I guess that's the best way to just find out what he is.
We just went through OTAs, and it's like, you're the guy. Like,
yep.
I mean, you spent all that number 1 overall pick, you traded up to go get him.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
And it's not like they have much better sitting there. Like, it's not like he's jumping anyone crazy.
Yeah, but still, I think that's why the rush.
I don't know. I feel like in a way, though, it's nice to know going into training camp who the guy is.
Well, I think that's kind of my point. Like, you go in, you know who it is, you set up the offense around him, and you go at it.
We got the Red Rocket and Matt Corral.
Exactly.
So, I mean, it's pretty much a given. So, yeah, I guess.
No faith in Andy Dalton, Jim?
I would kind of be like, yeah, we're going to let the Red Rocket play, like, game 1, see what happens. Then we'll walk him in. Like,
yeah.
On the other token,
let him be the hero.
Yeah. On the other token, you have him if you need him.
Yeah.
If things go south.
Yeah, Andy Dalton's just your insurance policy.
Yeah.
Someone who can get you up and down the field, possibly if necessary.
This had to have been Jim next year. Aaron Rodgers had perfect attendance at OTAs for New York.
Yeah, how do you feel about that? Your boy he'll show up in New York, but not for the pack.
Oh, Jim, he had perfect attendance. He was not taking snaps every day he was there.
But he showed up. I think he's invested in the Jets. Like he's
invested. I think he's invested in his new home and wants to show his teammates that he's ready to go all in with them.
Let's ride.
Yeah, if you're in a place the first year versus the 18th year, I feel like you got to show up no matter how many years of a veteran you are.
So if you're Zach Wilson right now,
and you're making his life hell,
are you still trying to make his life hell?
At this point, no. If you want to still be on the Jets at some point in the near future,
Gotcha.
Do
you still want to be on the Jets?
If you don't, then the easy way out is to agitate Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, and if you don't want to be on the Jets, who do you think's going to pick you up right away?
Yeah, nobody's in line. Nobody's in line.
Nobody.
Maybe the Steelers to get rid of Mason Rudolph, but
thank God Sam's not on.
Sam's not here to defend herself.
That's not cool.
That's her man.
The XFL has reportedly lost $60 million over the past season. What do we think? Are they going to continue next season? Are they looking for the public investment fund to come into play?
I think they knew that was going to happen.
60 million?
Yeah, I think that was a given.
Did Vince McMahon ever lose that much?
Oh, I'm sure. Twice.
Well, yeah, twice. This is The Rock.
I think that was a given. I think that was like, hey, this is what's going to happen. I don't think he had a problem with that.
I think it's a who's going to outlast first and gobble up each other, the USFL or the XFL. Like those two cannot coexist.
No,
I
It's-
agree with that.
It is awful for football.
Mm-hmm.
Awful for
It,
football.
it stretches it out too thin. Like you have the opportunity to make one good thing, but if you stretch it all the way out, there's not like put
Yeah.
the plethora of middle grade talent altogether.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens in the future with the XFL and the USFL. Brings us into college football news.
We're getting there, boys. We're
Almost-
getting there.
We're
I
under
think-
100 days until college and NFL football.
Yep, that's what I was gonna say.
Tickets are on sale. Start buying packages. We're getting there.
We're getting there, but first there are some things
Well,
We
the
need to chat about.
NCAA going to be the NCAA.
we gotta get there first. The first discussion is that the College Football Players Association is organizing a boycott of the next EA Sports.
You put way
NCAA
too much
football
emphasis
game.
on that. It's not really a boycott.
Those are the words I saw.
I know, but it's not like it's kind of like you can opt in.
Due to an anticipated payout of $500 and no royalties per player. All I want to know is why can't we get this shit together and give us another goddamn game to play? Why do we have to keep having these roadblocks? I just want to play college football games.
It'll be here.
Yeah, I also feel like that wasn't. They're still negotiating that. That's not necessarily. That can't be true. Like the whole reason why we got into this mess was over this exact thing. We had a whole upheaval of college football because of a video game. So like we're gonna work that out. I'm not worried about it.
I just want them to say, this is a game, this is a release date, pre-order now. That's what I
Hey.
want to hear.
2024, buddy. It's coming.
New ages in college football and golf.
Yep.
All right,
Yep.
Jim. What has NCAA president done now?
Oh, another one of these gear ups. Okay. NCAA President Charlie Barker said Thursday he wants a federal. I can't get through this. He wants a federal law to regulate the way college athletes can be compensated for endorsement deals that creates a registry of deals, agent certification, and uniform contract standards.
Talk about lobbying.
Didn't we say this 3 damn years ago?
We need some type of structure to how this is going to go down.
Weren't they in charge of creating that 3 years ago?
No, they weren't, Jim. They in fact said we will not be in charge of this.
But they had their chance.
Oh, they
He
did.
said that.
Mhm.
Okay. He says he hopes that they can move the bill through the House and Senate this fall because it's unlikely to get done next year during an election cycle. Does he not know how the government works? We can't even get them to agree on raising the debt ceiling. What makes them think we're going to start working on college football?
Yeah, everything that's going on in the world, they're like, stop college football.
All right. Then he says, this is a kicker for me, boys. If Congress doesn't come through, Baker said, the NCAA has to prepare to at least try to clean up the name, image, and likeness compensation on its own.
Oh, really?
What?
They're going to try?
Quote, I don't know if I can. All right, I'm going to try real hard. Ready?
Yep.
I think it's a big mistake by the NCAA not to do a framework around the NIL when they had an opportunity to do it. Duh!
So basically, what they're saying is it was a bad decision just to be like, yeah, let's do it.
Good. I'm
Period.
glad you said that. He says, I think there were too many people in college sports who thought no rules would work really well for them. And what everybody's discovered is no rules, no transparency, no accountability, no framework doesn't work well for anybody. No shit, Sherlock.
I want to know who this isn't working well for.
Him.
That's what the players are getting their cut now.
Right.
The NCAA is not able to get it.
I just wish we could like find that episode. I want to go through our annals and go, this is where we fucking told you, you moron.
I believe it was stated in multiple episodes, so we were able to find multiple points of
We
this
literally
happening.
tried. We tried so hard to say this is going to burn.
We're trying to
So
help you.
maybe you're saying the NCAA president started becoming a loyal listener.
Should quickly. We tried.
I think maybe
so
he did.
hard.
He went backwards and he found, oh, they said this 3 years ago.
Hey,
Oof.
those guys on that podcast,
Oh,
they were right. God bless. How many millions of dollars do you think these people make?
Oh, somebody like Charlie Baker? Well,
Yeah.
remember, the NCAA is also a tax exempt organization.
Yeah, him and the PGA.
Which one's dirtier, Jim?
At this point, it's a race.
One has significantly more money behind it now, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Significantly.
Absolutely.
It doesn't have to go, wait, Congress, fix this mess for us.
Well,
Jay
give it time.
Monahan just said, we don't want Congress to get involved in our stuff, so we're just going
Right.
to say, yes, Liv, be our friends.
Right, exactly. Exactly. All right, we'll move on to the Big Ten, okay? The Big Ten has released their 2024-2025 schedule, calling it the Flex Protect Plus
Ooh, what a name.
football schedule model that includes 11 protected matchups across the conference, eliminates divisions, targets a robust overall rotation as the league expands to 16 members now that we have USC and UCLA, maintains a 9-game league schedule and contains both guaranteed annual matchups and rotating ones. Beginning in 2024, every conference pairing will take place at least twice in a 4-year span. Once, all the things calm down, each member school will have a home game, between the pairings. At least a list of annual protected matchups, which will feature historic rivalries, trophy games, and various number of Big Ten teams. Everyone has a protected game except for Penn State.
I was just going to say that. I was kind of surprised by that.
Well, Penn State is one of the newer members of the Big Ten, if you look back into the history. And a lot of those matches.
I'm sorry, Muff, what? Maryland, Rutgers, USC, UCLA?
Newer. I didn't say newest.
How new is new, bud?
Before the schools you just named, who were the teams that Penn State, I think, was the most recent addition before them, right?
So are we going to say Penn State has no rival?
Their rivalry game right now is Michigan State.
We couldn't keep the Ohio State Penn State on Halloween game.
As a protected matchup.
Yeah.
That's
what everyone wants a piece of Ohio State, Jim.
Come on. There's
Everyone's
2 games that
puzzle.
freaking matter. Ohio State, Michigan, and Ohio State, Penn State. We couldn't throw them a bone.
And Penn State, Michigan.
That doesn't count for nothing.
What about Penn State Rutgers? I thought Rutgers was a rival.
Thank you, Nate. We could give them that rivalry.
I thought Penn State, Ohio State would be a thing, but
well, they can't protect that game and the Michigan game at the same time.
Yeah. Yes, they can.
Oh, they obviously not, Jim.
Iowa has 3 protected games.
Right.
Who the hell are Iowa's protected games? I didn't look through this
Hold on. I will look it up for you. Iowa protected game. It's stupid.
So pretty much they want to shop around Penn State to play
Nebraska, Minnesota, and Wisconsin.
Like, if you can give them 3, you could have given Ohio State 3.
Or Penn State.
Just give us 2.
Michigan, Penn State.
Yeah.
That's a good point, yeah.
Let's see what Ohio State's protected games are. I think
I really
State got 3.
Michigan.
I think.
Well, this is my mind with Penn State is they don't have that solidified rivalry game, right? They don't have the Ohio State, Michigan, or anything like that. Let's let them be the free agent in this and kind of toss them in with these other games with teams that may be, on the upper echelon of the Big Ten, but not yet to the top tier. So we're going to let Penn State be that go-between.
I'm sorry. Ohio State's only protected game is Michigan.
Yeah, I have a feeling that's what's going on. They want this the more traditional now top teams like the past 5-10 years to be able to play all of the teams, so those teams can say, oh yeah, we're playing the top teams and we may host them one time. We're going to get a big draw. We're going to get a lot of fans that game. Like, I feel like that's what's happening here.
So does anybody other than Iowa, Jim, since you're looking at that, have 3 protected games?
No, they're the ones with the most.
Yeah, because nobody wants to play them because they're boring.
So we're just forcing them to play them.
They want everybody. The only they want to say, oh, we can. We're going to guarantee you like 2 good games at home, so that they can always pan at the end of the whatever quarter where they all wave at the hospital.
Right.
Like, oh, we're going to guarantee you some good games, so you get on primetime, people can see that. So I mean, it's a great moment in sports, but like, why does Iowa deserve 3?
I still contend that let's get rid of Rutgers. Let's throw them out. Let's bring in like Pitt or WVU, and then things will make sense again.
I say if you had to bring in one of those two, bring in Pitt, because then you got the Pitt Penn State rivalry right there.
Sure, there we go.
But
It's a better
you
team than
bring in
WVU
both.
anyway.
Shut your mouth, Alex.
Come on, bud. Like you didn't think I was gonna take a shot.
I knew. But if I want Pitt and WVU to be in the same conference again.
Fine, I'll get rid of Maryland and Rutgers. Bring Pitt and WVU in.
That won't be a protected game, Alex.
Right?
We can't protect
On the
that
Big
game.
Ten.
Can't protect that game. Not possible.
Nope.
It's not that exciting.
All right, so let's get to this teased helmet breakdown. Doing the Pac-12.
So what are we doing here, Jim?
I'm going to give you 2 teams.
Mhm.
We're going to discuss their helmet quickly, see who wins, and we're gonna do a quick little bracket to see who our winner is for the Pac-12. No USC, no UCLA, because they're now Big Ten.
How many teams are left in Pac-12 then?
2, 4, 6, 8, 10.
Is it? I don't even know what teams are true to their moniker anymore.
You want me to tell you who's in there?
No. I'm saying like, were there 12 teams before? Because the Big Ten's not 10 anymore. That's all I'm saying. That's that. I forget how many teams are in those conferences now.
All right. First matchup: Utah, Washington.
I'm gonna go with Utah as a more, in my mind, traditional helmet. I think Washington is just I don't know. There's something about Washington helmet that I don't like.
I hate the purple W.
Maybe there's just too much purple in it.
I agree.
Alex, Nate?
I'm going Utah.
Give me the Utes.
Utah makes it. Okay.
Do you like it because Urban Meyer coached there, Jim?
No, I just don't like that purple.
Okay.
Okay. Cal, Arizona State.
Arizona State.
I do too. I agree with that.
I'm actually a Cal fan on this one.
Ooh, Alex.
Alex already said Arizona State.
Yeah, I think Arizona State. I want to say Cal because it like the blue and gold is nice colors, but
see, this is the thing. I'm separating the helmet from the logo. I am definitely a fan of the Arizona State logo.
I like the helmet,
but I like the Cal helmet better.
I don't. Sorry. Washington State, Arizona.
I'm only going Arizona because I can't stand the way that Washington State logo looks.
Wazoo.
Like it looks like a WC. It's really not even WSC.
It does have an odd look to it. Arizona's just a cleaner look to me.
Ooh,
I like it.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Arizona.
Is Arizona like the 12 seed moving on in the first round of the tournament?
Yeah, shocked. Okay. Stanford, Colorado.
Stanford.
Yeah, Stanford.
All day, every day.
Yeah, I agree. Classic. Okay. Oregon State.
Give me the Ducks.
Yeah, I got to go with the Ducks.
I mean, I kind of knew that was where it was going.
Because they have a lot of helmets to choose from too.
Yeah.
Well, what did we say? What was the verdict on how we're going to weigh that?
Just like their normal helmet.
Overall. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. That didn't plan out well. Okay.
There's just 5 teams that move on, Jim.
Yeah. Yeah. That didn't work out well.
You didn't.
I think we're going to give Oregon a bye.
Okay.
Which they should have had in the first round.
Yeah. You made it through. Okay. Utah, Arizona. That's a tough one.
They're both similar logos. I'm actually going to lean towards Arizona just because I think there's a little bit more to that logo. Like it's still clean, but it's got a little bit more than just a very basic.
Okay.
I kind of lean towards Arizona.
I'm leaning towards Utah because I don't think Arizona has an alternate other than the white, do they?
I have no idea on that.
No,
I
I
don't think
think
I've ever seen Arizona wear a white anything other than white helmet, but I've seen Utah wear white helmet, red helmet, black helmet.
Oh yeah, Utah for me. So I got Utah. What
So
did
we
you
have a
have, Nate?
tie.
I had Utah. Those two had
Shit.
Arizona.
So a
Where's
tie.
Joe? Where's Joe?
No, because if I go out there, the kid's gonna wake up. Tie. Shit. Can either of Nate or Alex be swayed?
It was me and Alex on Arizona.
Yeah.
Correct.
Uh, I don't think I'm gonna get swayed on this. I may kowtow if Utah is the consensus pick aside from me, but if somebody's gonna stay on my side with me, I don't think I'm gonna get away. We're gonna have to flip a coin.
I was gonna say, where's the decider? Where's the
There's
light?
Hold on.
zero variance.
Hold on. Let me see if she responds.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask Joe. This is great podcasting material.
Why can't we flip a coin?
I don't have a coin.
Is
You
what-
got a
Where's
is
coin?
that? Where's your? Where's the thing we were flipping for betting season?
Muff's gone.
Was it this?
Yes.
Yes.
Flip it.
So what's the light? There's the light side and the bottom. Who's who?
The light side is Arizona.
Yeah, light side's definitely Arizona.
Okay. Utah moves on.
Utah. Okay. Arizona State, Stanford.
Stanford to me.
Stanford.
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 Okay.
The way the tree blends in with the S is just too good.
Yeah.
Utah, Oregon.
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 Rat bastards. Oregon wins.
Which do you expect not to be Oregon?
Yeah, I was hoping for a miracle. All right. Oregon, Stanford.
I still say Stanford.
Woo!
I prefer duck. Give me the duck over the tree.
Uh-oh.
The green gets me. I'm sorry, I got to go with Oregon.
Hold on. We might have to come back to the
Why? Oregon just won, didn't they?
Nope.
No, Jim split.
Who else was on Stanford?
Alex.
Oh,
Oh, I'm going Stanford. Flip it.
which is what light side is.
Oregon.
Oregon wins.
Yeah, and the winner of the Pac-12,
To
Oregon.
the surprise of no one.
Actually, that was a coin toss, bud.
Right, but if you would have told me going in, or
That's true.
if you asked the loyal listeners who's going to win this helmet debate, you know damn well it would have been Oregon.
They were the number one seed.
I think you two should have really looked at the blackout helmet for Stanford. It's nice.
Well, let me Google it.
I didn't say it wasn't nice, but Oregon, that green and what they do with that green, and there's different helmet schemes is pretty sweet.
Then I
Is
don't
there-
think Oregon wears the same helmet twice in a season.
No, I don't think they do either. But their blackout helmet, I don't like that yellow on the yellow O on the black. It doesn't look cool.
You talking
I
about
don't like the
Oregon?
silver wings. Yeah. Their black helmet just doesn't do it for me.
You said something about Stanford in the blackout.
Stanford's blackout is cool. Oregon's is not. All right. Well, we have our winner.
Oregon it is. Oregon with the win.
Next week, the ACC.
Dum, dum, dum. In other interesting news in the sports world, we've already talked a little bit about the NBA playoffs, but in the NBA, Kyrie Irving is allegedly reaching out to LeBron to recruit him to the Mavericks.
Not going to happen.
With the possibility of joining forces again to repeat as NBA champions together.
I would be shocked if that happens.
So we don't think LeBron is considering leaving LA or
It
considering
goes like
other
this.
moves?
It goes like this. Hey, LeBron, do you know that the earth is flat and California is going to fall off the map?
Who?
Come out and play with me and be a little bit safer.
Come to
LeBron
Dallas.
goes, you batshit crazy still? I ain't coming out there. It's that easy. That easy.
But
No,
hey,
the only selling
Mark,
point
Mark,
he
Mark
has
said
about-
it. Mark said he was going to draft your son, guy. Is that what you're getting to, Nate?
Well, I would tell him, it's like, look, you say you're going to draft my kid. That means you're going to suck. I don't want to play there. What was it at Mike Tomlin a couple years ago? I don't want to be in the position to draft guys like you.
When he said that's Chase Young,
Yeah.
he said, "I don't ever want to be in that spot." Yeah, he's like, "I don't want to be bad enough that I don't get the chance to draft you."
There's no way LeBron goes and plays outside of LA. He's going to retire a Laker.
I do believe that.
You don't think he signs like a 1 day and goes sign and retires in Cleveland?
I don't think they'll let him.
Ugh.
That would be interesting. Which team is going to allow him to sign the 1 day contract if he wants to go there?
Ugh.
It'd be hilarious if he did it with some weird team. Like, didn't make any sense.
Yeah, like the
Like
Mavericks.
the Knicks. So
Like,
I
never
played
gonna
for
play.
Boston.
That would be funny.
The Knicks, Boston, like another
Hey,
one of those
LeBron, you want to sign
power,
a 1 day contract and go out as a supersonic?
That would be even funnier. I like that.
a team that doesn't exist anymore.
That would make me laugh.
In the NHL, Vegas leads the series 3-1 over the Panthers after taking their third win Saturday night. Panthers dead.
Yep.
Yes. I watched the first 2 periods yesterday. If they come out playing that hot again, it's over.
They might win another game, but I don't think they have enough in the tank to take the.
Take the next 3.
Yeah.
Not
It's a
wanna-
great story.
I just want to see the home team win it because it seems like recently it's always the team on the road that wins it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, Denver has that opportunity in the NBA. Their next game's at home. Vegas's next game is at home.
Mm-hmm.
So, or that series next game is at home. So, yeah, it's a situation where those 8 seeds are not. They finally have found their end, met their match in both the NHL and NBA playoffs. Soccer news, as always, comes towards the end if we have any. Lionel Messi is coming to Major League Soccer, signing a deal with Inter Miami and choosing not to go back to Barcelona, a club that has been in shambles since he left there to go to PSG, and not accepting a reported $500 million, with other reports saying it was upwards of $1 billion from a Saudi Arabian league. Reportedly, Messi was provided numerous business and commercial advantages to come to the MLS, including profit sharing with Adidas and Apple TV. Welcome, one of the greatest, to MLS.
And that's soccer.
I do. I like Leo Messi. He's my favorite soccer player, if I have one.
Yeah, I mean, he is the soccer player of this generation.
Okay.
So this is like David Beckham level situation.
Him and like Cristiano Ronaldo.
Or another opportunity at the end of your career to make some money and help hopefully grow sport in the United States. He's going to Miami, right? Can't figure that's a bad deal for him.
Exactly.
And lastly, the NCAA has passed that takedowns in college wrestling will now be worth 3 points, so we can no longer hold up the 2 starting next season. Jim,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts on how this will impact strategy in wrestling, and will it change the sport at the collegiate ranks now and in the future?
Yes, it will. It will. It'll change. It'll be more aggressive. You'll see a lot more action. Because a takedown, 2 points.
Mhm.
Then you can just kind of just ride it out, get your escape. Now you're within 1, and then it's a lot closer. Whereas 3, you get your escape. Now you need that takedown. Now it's go time.
Well, if you get taken down and say the first period and you get ridden out, you're going to be on 4-0 instead of 2-0.
Right. I mean, it's go time. So it's going to make everybody a lot more aggressive, I think.
Mhm. I think that this is just based on me being more loyal to watching at least Penn State wrestling and some Big Ten wrestling, just because that's what you get to see if you watch Big Ten Network during wrestling season. This is a huge, I think, advantage to a coach like Cale Sanderson, who preaches being aggressive at all times anyway.
Yep.
So I think that just is another step for Penn. If Penn State continues on the trajectory they've been on, that they're just going to continue to dominate, because Cale Sanderson has always been go, 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 be aggressive, look for your shots, take them.
Yep.
We'll figure it out. It'll all come out in the wash if you don't get them.
Well, and
So
I think the way, and I feel again like the old man on the porch, the way that athletes are coming up, you're looking at a more athletic high schooler and a more leaner, like your heavyweights are not big piles of goo like I was. You know what I mean? Like, so you got guys who are really can go at the heavyweight and the weight class below that. So like 3 points, you're going to see a heavyweight moving, and it's going to be, but they can do it.
mhm.
Whereas when I was, in high school, it was like you're going to watch these behemoths just kind of brawl.
They're going to lean on each other, and
Right.
at some point somebody's going to fall on top.
Wrestling.
Now it's not like that, So it's gonna be fun to watch. I think it should bring in more fans too, hopefully.
I think it should as well. It's going to be
Yeah.
fast. I mean, wrestling is already a fast-paced sport. It's
Yeah.
going to be even more so now.
Side note, I was watching a thing on Kurt Angle, who, WWE, whatever,
Yeah.
but I was watching an actual documentary on the wrestling side, the Olympic side of it. What a yinzer you all should be proud of. What a madman on his Olympic run. 3 times a day. And his philosophy was like exhaustion conditioning. And like that was what he called it. So he would condition to the point of exhaustion and then train. And like his the worlds the year before he went to the Olympics, he beat the guy because the guy basically was too exhausted to go on. And I was just like, that's insane. Like Pittsburgh should have a Rocky statue-esque for Kurt Angle somewhere, because he had a broken neck. Like,
yeah.
It's insane. I didn't realize, and I
He
get
just
that.
grinds it out harder than others.
Like, that is a yinzer through and through. Like he is what you want him to be. So like, and I get he's got the WWE thing, but like,
yeah,
you guys should have him up there with,
instead of like that Vince Papale movie Invincible about the Philadelphia Eagles guy who got a chance to play in an NFL game. Why do we not have
right
Invincible Kurt Angle?
Yeah, you guys should really have a statue of him.
I don't know. Statue. I'm sure there is a statue of him somewhere. Where did he go to college?
Coolidge, I think. Let me look it up.
It's the end of the episode. We got time.
Yeah. If you're listening still, that air's okay with you.
He went to Clarion. That's what I thought.
Clarion. I knew it started with a C.
It's Pennsylvania school, now part of Penn West. But yeah, you had Kurt Angle, you had Kerry Colat. Like there was a lot of Southwestern PA. I mean, there's a huge history of Southwestern PA wrestlers that have gone on to do amazing things. Hey, something about it. Something about those river towns.
Tough as nails.
Tough as nails.
But they were Pirate fans. You guys should learn something.
Kurt Angle probably was a Pirate fan. Probably was a Pirate fan, Jim, because they were probably good then.
They're good now, damn it.
You almost made it through the whole episode with how we wanted to punch you. And here we are.
I tried hard.
And that brings us to the end of this episode of Sports Stuff with Jim and Muff. As a reminder, follow us at Sports Jim Muff on Instagram and Twitter, Penn Sports Stuff, w/Jimmy Muff on Facebook, on YouTube. Subscribe, comment, rate, review, poke, like, tickle.
Get the bell on.
Get the bell on. Nate, what's your sound effect?
Right.
That's one. That should be something you do throughout the episode, Nate. When you don't like something, strike.
You're out of here.
And then if you get to 3, then somebody loses speaking privileges. That's an off-season thing.
I need to be like Jim Rome and have a mute button for all of you.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
I don't think I'd talk much an episode.
That would be funny. All right, let's get out of here. Remember, do all the things. Follow us on all the social media. Get with us on YouTube. Follow us through the dog days of the summer as we get closer and closer to the beginning of football season. And to help us get there and help us get closer and closer and to help us get through this summer, make sure that you tell a friend, make a friend, be
uh,
friend.